Okay. Hi, Casey.
Hi, Kel. Hey, Rob.
So our first question that I have at least is, what is one app that you feel has been beneficial to aid with student dif for differentiating instruction?
I'll share my screen with you. I've got one that I use almost every day pulled up. Can you see that?
Almost.
It's loading. There we go.
Okay, yeah, we can see it now.
All right, so this is Seesaw. It's used K through 5 in our school, and it's an online student portfolio. So the students themselves, up here you can see this is Rachel, they upload videos and images and stories of meaningful moments for themselves, which they can then share with their parents and share with teachers and share with the specialists. So, for example, here's Rachel clearly wanted to share something during music class. Then I can click on a student over here on the right, and I can see everything that Arnav has now chosen to share. The way that this helps with differentiating instruction and learning is that it helps students choose the way in which they'd like to demonstrate their understanding and demonstrate their learning. So here we have a great example of Arnav reflecting upon his art piece that he created, and it links to our unit that we were doing on insects and beasts, and here he's chosen to write out his answers. But just as easily, here he's done it in math. He's found various arrays and real life scenarios, and he's labeled them using the Seesaw app as well. He could very well just have easily have made a video or included voice instructions. You'll see often we post homework. Here's Arnav talking about reading and reflecting upon like his goals for reading. So he could have written this out, he could have taken a photo of his favorite book, but he chose to make a video.
That's great. It looks like each student is able to use their favorite kind of medium.
Yeah, and it helps in that when we are trying to assess knowledge that isn't based on reading or writing ability, or even speaking ability. I mean, the majority of my students are ESOL. They're able to share their learning and their thinking without being restricted by poor grip, which is something they're still learning when they're 5 years old, or they're not restricted by not being able to spell words clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Or for students that have processing skills or who struggle with completing things in time, a video is so much easier for them to just get their thinking out there rather than having to, all right, now I need to sit down, I have my pencil, I have my eraser, how do you spell insect? It's just a lot easier if they can record it.
Right.
I guess in just a sentence or two, do you feel like the learning curve for both the students using it and the teachers implementing it is worth it?
Yeah, and I think the reason it's been so successful and it's used so widely in school is it is very user friendly. The 5-year-olds have no problem using it. You can also, over here on the right, I'll show you, these are activities that you can assign to students. Like this one from the beginning of the year. Oh no, this is from March, Get to Know You. And it shows them direct instructions of what they need to do for the activity. Tap the add button, take a photo of your picture. And since this was homework, obviously a parent would be reading these instructions to them, and so therefore you're also helping the parents get to know the app as well. Mm-hmm. Or here you'll see that we did storytelling through the performing arts, and this was just used as a provocation. We didn't need the students to give any real kind of response. We just wanted them to start thinking about the things that they notice and see. So here I can look at the responses. And you might see, okay, so most of them chose to do a written response there, but for some of the others.
And it also seems like it then allows for some of the flipped classroom method of kids being able to preview what they're going to learn. Like you said.
Yeah, definitely. And it gets them they love using their iPads. So it gets them really excited and engaged in what we're doing. So it forms a really good provocation.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and then the other app that I use almost daily is Band. This is a parent communication tool. Most of our parents are ESOL and do not speak English at all. And this is just a way for us to keep them in touch of what's happening with the day. So we never share to Seesaw. Those are the students' portfolios. They choose what to share. And here, this is how we communicate with parents. Our students don't see this. So it's a lot of reminders and messages. Tomorrow we have swimming, bring your swimsuit. But it's also, look what we did today in, what was this? In math, we were learning about fractions. Here are pictures of what we're doing. Here we are in UOI working on our timelines. And we just take photos of each child and the parents can check what they're doing. And this helps with differentiation because with the very traditional society, like the one we're working in, many Korean parents have an expectation of what education looks like, and they hope to see something very tangible at the end of a unit, like where is the summative? I want to see it. And this allows us to do things that are maybe a little bit more abstract, where the product, the value is in the process, not in the end product. And this allows us to take photos and show the parents that what we're doing, has value. There's a reason why we do things.
Right. Yeah, instead of just test at the end or some sort of grand assessment.
Yeah, and then this was the other one I was telling you about. Here's just photos of them using their iPads in class. I wrote a message to the parents explaining in literacy they're making their own books. These are researching, analyzing, and nonfiction writing skills. So here you can see all the students working using Book Creator and using Epic and Raz Kids to read nonfiction books or have nonfiction books read to them, and then they write down their own ideas on planning sheets, and different students have different sheets depending on their need, and then we can conference with the students one-on-one while they do most of the research themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure we have another one. Yeah, here we can see them at work. Headphones on, they're listening, they're researching.
Casey,
Some of them chose to make it. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You had said on this platform, or maybe you said using Google Translate, the non-English speaking parents can still read what the teachers have written. Was that an implemented feature, or they just copy and paste that onto Google Translate?
Yeah, they copy and paste it onto Google Translate or onto Naver.
And vice versa as well? Something that they would say you could translate it back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if that doesn't work, take it to the office. But
I see, okay. Does it typically work well enough? I mean, the rough translation there?
Yeah, you get the basic gist of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pictures help the parents a lot more than what we write anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just having something that shows you what your child has been doing all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like this. This is us doing outdoor inquiry, which is something that you won't really find supported in a Korean school that is incredibly focused on academics, but is so valuable for our students. And just to be able to take photos of it and give a little explanation of, there was a lot of teamwork and communication happening here. And yeah.
Does having to photograph all of this hinder the teaching process at all throughout the day?
It can be a little stressful since you do need to make sure that you get a photo of each child. Otherwise, the parents will send you a message and be like, where was my child? But actually, I found this to be quite a valuable form of documentation and to look back for yourself when you're writing narratives and reports. And also when you're just wanting to go through your week, going through my phone, looking at all the images of what the kids can do. It's a good way to help me plan the next step.
I think that that would sum up these two questions there.
Yeah, that's good. Here, one sec. Let me pull out this.